your pathway to a successful career in cybersecurity. That's what we are dealing with today. Now, there are 13 questions which will form the course outline for this foundation course, and I hope we can run through it within the next 2 hours. The first question is to answer what is cybersecurity. The second question is cybersecurity actually for me? Ask yourself, is cybersecurity for you? Third question is why choose cybersecurity? Fourth question is where should you start from? Where do you actually want to start your cybersecurity journey from? Then number 5, what are the parts? What are the specializations? What are the areas of cybersecurity that you can focus on? Question 6 is what do you need to know? What do you need to know about cybersecurity? 7 is cybersecurity actually for you? Then how can you learn? How do you learn? What are the learning providers? Who are the people who provide learning? Where can you learn from? 10, how do you learn fast? 11, how do you gain hands-on experience? Question 12, job seeking preparations. How do you prepare for jobs? What are the platforms where you seek for job? And then conclusion. So these are the questions we're going to ask, or we're going to ask and answer ourselves today. So I'm going to be providing a guide on answering this question. If you follow through with the 13 questions, just drop a message on the WhatsApp group and say, I had the 13 questions, so that I can know that you are following and I'm still connected to you. The comment is not enabled on the video. The first question is, what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is the practice of protecting systems, networks, and programs from digital attacks. So what we are saying, cybersecurity is all about protecting. So I'm in my company or my business, Cyber Culture Interface or Para Concepts and Solutions. Our theme word is protecting the future. One of the things we are doing is how do we protect the future, because we are focusing on people and the environment. So when we are protecting systems, networks, programs, these three things affect the people and they affect the environment. So what is cybersecurity? Is a practice of protecting these things. And then there are fundamental things you should know about cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is built around 3 fundamental concepts. Now they've added another one to it, which makes it 4, but usually it's 3, which is this confidentiality, integrity, availability. Now they mentioned, or there's an addition of what we call accountability too. But I'm going to speak about the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So, and this is confidentiality is simply talking about that in cybersecurity, we are trying to protect the privacy of an individual. That is, you are making your data, you are protecting data, information about you, you are keeping it to yourself. Information that is private to you. Cybersecurity is ensuring that it remains private to you. For example, your hospital records, your financial records, maybe your family records, things that are not meant for the public. Cybersecurity has the duty of protecting this, of keeping things private, keeping private things private, ensuring that private things are not leaked to the public. So that is the one concept or one fundamental thing about cybersecurity. And then integrity. Cybersecurity is also protecting the integrity. And when we talk about integrity, we are saying that data remains the way it's supposed to be, that it doesn't lose its integrity. What are we saying? So if you write a letter to someone and in your letter you wrote 10 lines, and you are sending the 10 lines of letter to someone, maybe you're in Nigeria, you are sending the letter to someone in Australia. You want to make sure that the letter remains 10 lines, and by the time it gets to Australia, it has not turned to 20 lines, or it has reduced to 7 lines. So it has lost integrity. Or maybe each line is made up of 15 words. By the time it gets to where it's going, it's no longer 15 words, it's now 12 words. It doesn't have integrity. So integrity is maintaining what you have said. Integrity is maintaining data in its real original state, in its intended state. And then the third thing that cybersecurity is about is availability. Cybersecurity is protecting or ensuring availability. So when you have your data is confidential, is private, is kept private, is kept with its integrity, that is not altered. And then Finally, it is available. So if you have your data, you have information about yourself kept somewhere, you want to be sure that every time you need this information, you can get it. For instance, if you save your money or keep your records about your family or financial records somewhere, anytime you need that information, you want to be able to go there and fetch that information. And then if you need that information and you cannot get it, it means it's not available. So cybersecurity is ensuring that there's availability. And these three things form the major type of attacks that we experience or people experience in cybersecurity. So hackers are trying to steal your private document, either steal it or they are making alterations so you don't want to change it, or they want to make sure you don't have access to what belongs to you. Imagine you getting home one day and you cannot enter your home, or you get your home and you found out that your things you saved have been changed. you know so it is all about the integrity, confidentiality, and availability of your data. So that is what we are doing as a cybersecurity. And then in the field of cybersecurity, there are different ways you achieve these things. So different ways you use to achieve these things is what you're expected to do as a cybersecurity professional. So examples, just like I mentioned earlier, examples are privacy, authentication, certificates, backup, distributed denial of services. These are things that relate to confidentiality, and over time we're going to be, you know, exploring it deeper. So privacy, of course, I've talked about privacy, your personal information. Authentication speaks to integrity. SSL certificates. If you are browsing the website, you see SSL. It's talking about the integrity. That certificate is what gives a guarantee that your information has not been changed. Then backups, is availability. Backups is is saying that even something happens to your information, you have backup where you can extract it from. So this is what cybersecurity is focusing on. So for you to have, we are talking about the fundamentals of cybersecurity. Now, the second question is cybersecurity for you. So when you are going to cybersecurity, what you are saying is that you are trying to become someone who makes sure that the confidentiality, the integrity, and availability of people's information, people's data is sustained. So you are now asking yourself, are you someone that wants to go into that? Basically, cybersecurity is it for you? So what interests do you have in technology and problem solving? Are you the kind of person that likes technology? You may not be a technical person per se, but do you have interest in technology? There are a lot of fields or roles in cybersecurity that are not very technical, but but it requires you to have interest in technology and you like solving people's problems. Like solving problems because basically what you are doing is that you are working against people who want to attack or hack into people's data, hack into or make people's data not available. So what you are doing is, are you interested in solving problem solving, and are you willing to continuously learn? Why? Because cybersecurity is fast changing professional. As you are protecting your system, you are coming up with tools to protect your system. These hackers who are developing ways to break into it, they are developing ways to break to it. So technology keeps changing. As new technologies are coming out, they are hacking in the new technologies, and people keep, these things keep changing. So you need to continuously learn. The tactics you learned yesterday may not be working again today. So you may develop a way of breaking that tactic. So do you enjoy solving puzzles and analyzing complex problems? So look at yourself, assess yourself. Do you need these things as a fundamental? Forget about the technical aspect of cybersecurity. You may not necessarily need to be technical, but you need to have interest, and willingness to continue to learn. So if you are following me, just let me see your thumbs up on the WhatsApp group. Just drop a comment. Let me see that you are following, that you've had what I said about question 2. And if you are watching this video, you want to belong to that WhatsApp group, there's a link that will be posted in the description of this video for you to join the next class. Okay, so the third question we are asking and answering is, why choose cybersecurity? Why do you want to choose cybersecurity? There's a high demand. The need for cybersecurity professionals is increasing or is growing every day. It's a rewarding career, competitive salaries, and job satisfaction. Definitely. tech is paying high these days, and cybersecurity tech is paying well high too. Then impactful work. You can imagine the joy you see when you protect data and system. Joy, you're just like a policeman when you're able to protect citizens, digital citizens from being hacked. So when you protect data and system from cyber threats, you are making impactful work. You are saving the future, like I said earlier on. Now the fourth question is, where should I start from? So in there, you need to evaluate yourself. Where do you want to start from? So first thing, when you want to know where you start from, you need to know where you are. So what's your academic background? What are the relevant degrees or certifications you have? I'm not saying these things are going to stop you, but it's basically telling you where you start. For example, someone that read computer science is not going to start cybersecurity the way someone that read law is going to start, or someone that read English education, for instance. So where you are coming from, someone that did computer science already, by the time he or she is done in school, they've learned a lot about computers. So what relevant degrees do you have? What are the relevant degrees you have? What's your professional background? So even though you read education English in school, and by the time you are done, some people have already worked in tech backgrounds. Work in tech companies, you work in companies that deals with computers. So you might have experience in IT or retail fields. So also, what are your interests and abilities? Some people didn't study it in school, they didn't do anything work there, but they just have interest in tech things, and they've developed skills that are aligned with cybersecurity tasks. So over the years, they've developed skills. Okay. So then the personality types too. Personality types, when we're talking about, are you an analytical person, detail-oriented person, or you're a proactive person? These things will guide you to know which fields or which aspect of cybersecurity you want to go to, which area, and even how to start. Now, the next question is, what parts or specializations? So there are a lot of parts, like I said, there are a lot of areas in cybersecurity. So we have things like network security, application security, cloud security, ethical hacking, incident response. We have the governance, risk, and compliance. So these are different areas, and we have more. So what parts you specialize in? You need to choose a part. You need to spend time. If you remember earlier on, I said one of the key requirements for you to go into cybersecurity is for you to have a willingness to learn. So we can't learn everything in a class. So, for example, you need to do research and find out what is network security about, what is application security about. Network security about, for instance, is cybersecurity aspect that focus on protecting things like servers, IT infrastructure in an organizations, communication within the organization, IT gadgets, communication gadgets like that forms a network within an organization. So that's an aspect of that is a quite technical aspect. So for people who have technical background, that's a good area. But if you don't have any technical background, I would suggest that you shy away from there. But if you still have keenness to technical things, you might go there, but it means you have to learn a lot of things. Then we have application security, which talks about protecting applications. We are in a very digital world today. Most of the things we do are apps, a lot of apps. So these apps need to be protected. These apps needs to be kept safe. We have APIs here and there, different applications connecting with each other. So they need to be protected. And so this also a bit technical because it involves some learning things like some programming, learning how softwares work. So we need some technicality to there, but not to say that you cannot learn. It's something you can go into. We have cloud security. Cloud, everybody's in the cloud today. People do a lot of things in the cloud. Their data are in the cloud. There are a lot of cloud service providers there. All these things in the cloud need to be protected. If you're interested in cloud, you have a flair for cloud things. This is a good area too. We have ethical hacking. Ethical hacking are basically people who test systems, who test your network, who test your infrastructure, who test things and check, whether they and look for vulnerabilities in them. So ethical hacking is basically they are checking your system to see if there is any vulnerability, and then they will tell you about the vulnerability and suggest things you can do to you. So ethical hacking is basically the opposite of malicious hackers or black hat hackers. Why? Because hackers or malicious hackers are hacking with the intention of exploiting any vulnerability they find. For instance, they want to check it out if you forgot to put your password in a very critical device, and when they find out that you didn't put your password, they quickly log in and change the password and take over, and this thereby causing a lot of disruptions. That is not ethical. Ethical hackers will find out that you do not put a password in your device, and they will call you and tell you, no, guy, you did not put a password in this device. It can easily be taken over. So that's ethical hacking. Then we have incident response. Incident response are people who respond to, when an hacking happens or when a system has been compromised. Incident responders are people that are called in to check, to investigate, look at what is going on for you to, determine how much damage, or they try to contain the whole situation. So these are incident responders. Then we have the governance, risk, and compliance people. These are people basically the non-technical aspect. And what are these? They are dealing with policies. They are making sure that you follow due process. They are making sure that the things that you need to put in place are there. They are making sure that you check your risk management, profile, or risk management level is properly taken care of, or they want to ensure that you are complying with laws. You want to make sure that your cybersecurity policies are compliant with the government. So these are compliant. These areas are non-technical. And a lot of people are going into it now, especially people who don't have technical background and are quite interested in cybersecurity.